Hello, Matt, and welcome to Airbourne review with its fifth installment called the Boneshaker. Just Boneshaker, no the Boneshaker. Here we are with this new album. Let's unbox it, even though it's not exactly a typical Rauta metal album. Now, I got to like this band originally in around 2013 when the Black Door Barking came out, and I fell in love with the album because it was so butt-kicking experience with its kind of a heavy metal style of AC/DC, whereas AC/DC has been always more rock and roll stuff. Airbourne was kind of its metallic little brother, and curiously enough, it worked for me very well. Even though not being a kind of an AC/DC fan, no disrespect towards the band, but anyway. So when Airbourne came out later on with its new album, I also liked that one, and I also got to see them on stage where they played very, very energetic, very beer-infested, sweat-smelling gig. And man, I was like, this is one of my new go-to bands when drinking beer and whatnot. So I was expecting Boneshaker to shake my bones as well and kick my butt, but to be honest, this is a slight disappointment. First of all, this is less metal and more rock and roll than before, and it's not only because the production is closer to the kind of a sound what AC/DC is all about, but it's also about the riffs and the style. And it's not like much has changed with the band itself. I mean, you have one guitar player changed since the last album, but that's pretty much of it. I mean, everything else here is still kind of a Airbourne style, if you will. But I don't know, this is not a bad news for those who are into AC/DC. This is definitely more towards that kind of a hard rock style rather than metal. But for me, who was expecting more like those catchy riffs, memorable lyrics parts and all that stuff, now it seems like this is more going to kind of copycat direction. This is kind of an album which I would have been expecting from the band from the very start. I mean, when they started to do their kind of a Australian rock and roll, metal hybrid, whatever, and paying homage to AC/DC. And now it seems like the band has a little bit lost their originality as they were going closer to what AC/DC is all about. I mean, obviously there is enough room for both bands, you know, even if the style is very similar, because obviously AC/DC is not gonna be here for all eternity, and even if they were, it's not like they're releasing a new album every year or so. So it feels like Airbourne is just, kind of this inheritor of sorts, trying to be so badly what AC/DC is not able to do soon anyway. But to me, it doesn't really like that is the best what Airbourne can do, because when they were doing their metal, they had more different kind of groove. Let's call it metal groove. And now they have replaced it with more of a rock and roll sound. And in that kind of a sense, they are more like one-trick pony nowadays versus what they were before. So what my point is here is that this is still a relatively good album, but it's not as mind-blowing maybe as it was before. So they have clearly lost something when they started to shift towards this more AC/DC direction. So for older fans, this might be a little disappointment. I know some people beyond me that are a little bit disappointed to this compared to previous one. But then again, this might be more into the AC/DC fans. So with this information, I hope you to check it out, especially if you're into AC/DC, and if you are or have been into Airbourne, you know what to expect at least a little bit. So there you have it, some good old-fashioned traditional rock and roll action, even if a little bit less metal than before. There you have it. Go check out the links and hope you enjoy, and especially if you haven't witnessed them on stage, do yourself a favor and go get a ticket. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.